Hi, my name is Jason, and this is Monica. We are both nurses. We earn $300,000 a year. We work less than 20 hours per week. And we live in Sacramento, California. But we didn't always start out here. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and Monica is from the Philippines. We moved out here at an early age. This is what my neighborhood looked like then. And this is what our neighborhood looks like now. This is my story.
So quick backstory. We ended up moving over here when my mom and my dad got separated. And this was around 1994, 1995. And we ended up moving over here because my mom was a single mother with 4 children and she could not afford to pay for an apartment in another location. So she actually won the lottery to have an apartment in this location here.
These are the Marlboro housing projects located in the Gravesend neighborhood of Brooklyn. Constructed by the New York Housing Authority in 1958, the housing complex, as well as more than 2,400 other complexes, provides housing for over 300,000 low-income New York City residents. Consisting of 28 mid-rise brick towers, the Marlboro houses offers 1,765 apartments, providing thousands of families with an affordable place to call home. But that's where it ends.
Not only is this NYC apartment too small, it's infested with roaches and other insects. And when dinner time is over for the family, it's not over for the roaches. We spot one on the table where the kids were just eating.
So dangerous. Nobody's doing anything about getting the gang members out of the building.
A major gang bust in New York City today. The NYPD arrested 14 alleged gang members.
This case links 21 shootings back to the Chico gang. According to the indictment, 12 people were shot as a result, including 4 innocent bystanders.
When we first moved over here, I remember my mom, even then she was still having a hard time because she could barely speak the language. Raising 4 children on her own, had to work 3, sometimes 4 jobs at a time just to support us. But we lived here for about 11 years. And actually, my mom just moved out 5-6 years ago. So she lived here for about 20 to 21 years before she decided to move out. Yeah, this is it. That's where we used to live. Oh my gosh, look at that door. Yeah. Man, can't believe I actually used to live here. We lived here for a good amount of time too. I think it was like 10, 11 years. This park that you see here behind me is actually a park that my mom used to take us to. Whenever she used to get some time off from work, sometimes she would have to do it between shifts because she didn't get a lot of time off. But we had a lot of experiences here because it was a place that we would come here and we would actually enjoy our time off from school. You know, life can be difficult for a lot of people, but they still find a way to enjoy it. Yeah, but yeah, we used to come here every single day, almost. And I remember this street over here is the street that I would walk about a mile to get to the middle school I used to go to. And it would take me about 20 to 30 minutes to get there, but it's only like a 4-minute drive. I went there for 3 years, graduated from Jamaica High School, and then
I got my nursing degree in 2012, and Monica got hers in 2013. But before this, let's talk about how Monica and I met.
Hi everyone, so today we are in the Botanical Garden and we are with Billy, Jason, and Saul. Say hi, Saul. And Billy and Jason are talking about and houses, and Donica is by the fountain.
In 2005, I had just gone through my first breakup, and I signed up for any dating website I could think of. One of these websites happened to be mijente.com, a dating website for Latinos. And I had no idea what a Filipino was at the time. But I see this Asian girl, and in my grief, I send her a message. And I tell her I had just gone through a breakup and I wanted someone to speak with. And that message led to us talking on the phone every single day as friends for an entire 2 years. We each had relationships with other people in those 2 years. And in a turn of events, Monica got pregnant and had a baby at the age of 17. Her entire life had turned upside down. By this time, we had still not met in person, but Monica quickly became a single mother who had to drop out of school during her pregnancy, and she went on to enroll herself in a school that would allow her to bring her daughter with her during her classes. And I saw how difficult it was for Monica to do it all on her own, but she never asked anyone for help. And the first time I met her and her daughter, I wanted to be there. And for context, I was working as an entry-level risk analyst at a merchant processing company in the financial district, and I was making around $14 per hour. But there was this one time when Monica was on her way to school, and as always the case, her commute consisted of her taking the public bus to get there in the rain, sleet, or snow. A major snowstorm had just hit the city, and while pushing through the snow with her daughter in the stroller, one of the wheels broke and completely fell off. And she didn't need my help, nor did she even ask for it, but I used whatever money I could muster at the time, and I bought her this low-quality stroller from eBay because it was all I could afford. I wanted her and her daughter to know that they didn't have to do it all alone, and that I would be there for them no matter what. And so, everything was beginning to look up. Monica was 18, going on 19, and she was on her way to graduate with a high school diploma. She was going to be able to pursue her lifelong dream of becoming a nurse. But what happened in the next few years really tested us. In the winter of 2007, Monica was evicted from her apartment. And in the summer of 2008, on a warm summer morning, as I'm walking into the department, I look around and I scan the room from left to right. And I've never seen so many dispirited individuals in my entire life. I knew that was going to be the day. I looked directly in front of me. It was my manager's office. Within it were two other individuals and my manager, and they were waving for me to walk into their office. All I could think of at the time was, I'm a college student, I don't have any savings, and as I walk into this office, the only words that I spoke were, you don't need to tell me what I already know. All I want to know is, do I have a severance package? Their response, no. So I packed my things and I stormed out of that office. I called Monica, and I bawled my eyes out, and I walked for 3 hours straight as I contemplated my life. That's when I sat down in Central Park and I decided that I needed to go into a career where I had the security and peace of mind that I needed for me and for Monica. This commitment and this determination to want a better life for us is what held both of us together. So I began taking prerequisites for nursing school, and Monica joined along immediately after. And we finally felt like we made it. Life was so much better for us than it had ever been. That is, until we began to work as nurses. If you've ever worked as a nurse, or if you've ever been a patient in New York City, you will understand the next part of the story. I got my first job at Jamaica Hospital. They say that this is the hospital where patients go to die. And as sad as that sounds, the working conditions in this, along with most other New York City hospitals, make it extremely unsafe for the staff and the patients. New York City is one of the toughest states to be a nurse. And patients can spend several hours, if not days, in the emergency department before they're admitted to the hospital. And I experienced this firsthand in my first job as an emergency department nurse in one of the best hospitals in the country. Oftentimes, I would receive patient assignments in the double digits and be caught up in scenarios where I would be taking care of 15 patients while also having to cover for another nurse on his or her lunch break and caring for the 15 patients. Our only escape from the challenges of being a nurse was to enjoy whatever little money we had left because of the ridiculous cost of living in New York City and use it to travel the world. But we quickly began to see that our spending was out of control and our debts went through the roof. Then, as if by some divine intervention, I was given a nursing student to precept, and we happened to get into a conversation about how underpaid New York City nurses were. But her parents were working less than us, earning close to $200,000 per year as nurses in California. I couldn't believe what she was telling me. So she came back the very next day with the wage structure for the hospital that her parents had worked for, Kaiser Permanente. And there it was, nurses earning up to $177,000 per year without overtime. And that's all Monica and I needed to see.
Hey guys, today is Judgment Day. We're just clearing out the apartment and doing some last minute packing, and have just so much stuff to get rid of, so much to pack, and Danica's not happy about moving.
We had a tenant come in today to look at the apartment. The first thing he complained about was the stairs. It's 4 flights up, but still he really liked the apartment, so we're hoping that he actually rents it out so we don't have to pay for the rest of the rent the next couple of months. This is day 2 without furniture and about 8 days before we go to California. This is Monica doing her makeup before work.
Guys, so we're finally here. We're just waiting for our luggages to come out of the conveyor belt. They did pretty good on their very first and hopefully their very last flight.
Please hold on.
And so we moved to the city of Roseville.
Hey guys, this is our first day here in California. It's about 12:37 in the afternoon, and we're just waiting for Danica to come down. She is on her way here. She didn't want to come with us, but we want to show her her new school, and we want to show her around. So here we are, we're on our way there.
In 2022, Roseville ranked as the #1 best city to live in the USA. The city is located approximately 20 miles northeast of Sacramento, California. This proximity makes it a key part of the Sacramento metropolitan area, offering easy access to the state capital via Interstate 80. It has a history that dates back to its early beginnings as a railroad town. Its development was significantly influenced by the establishment of the Southern Pacific Railroad's terminals and repair facilities in 1907. Its population surged from 28,988 in 1985 to 126,956 by 2014, driven by technological and retail development. There are 2 major hospital systems in the area. The first is Kaiser Roseville, the hospital system that most nurses leave their states to come to because of the amazing benefits and the highest wage offerings in the country. This hospital is known for having the strongest nurses union in the United States. The nurses here have been able to secure wages north of $160 per hour. But Roseville is a large city that needs more than one hospital to support its population. And where Sutter Roseville is located, the hospital behind me. We moved here because of the proximity to my job and the proximity to our daughter's schools. The school system in Roseville is one of the best school systems in the Sacramento region. Our rent was only going to be $1,600 per month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with 2 swimming pools, a tennis court, free parking, a gym, and a community center. But while living in Roseville, Monica was unemployed for 3 months before she was able to land a job. It took her hundreds of applications, 5 interviews, and 3 job offers before she was able to land the job with Kaiser Permanente that would change our lives forever. But we're going to save Monica's exhaustive job hunt for another story. After working at Sutter Roseville for 8 months and applying for every single ER position I could find, I too was able to secure a job at Kaiser Permanente. These were the jobs we had both moved across the country for. This was our sign that we could now afford to make our dreams come true and search for a place we could finally call home. In March of 2018, less than a year after moving to California, we moved into the home of our dreams.
Welcome to our home!
And today, Monica and I typically work less than 20 hours per week. Monica earns a little over $132 per hour as a per diem night shift telemetry nurse. And I earn $103 as a benefited evening shift ER nurse. But the greatest part of this journey is that we now have the best benefits in the country. We can make time for our patients because we have ratio laws that govern the number of patients we're allowed to care for at one time. This is what nurses all across the country should be fighting for. Now we've been living in Sacramento for about 7 years, and we don't know where the road is going to lead us, but it's very likely that we're going to move back to New York City. And that may be before our son goes to kindergarten, or it might be a little bit later. But we do know one thing. When we moved out here, the goal was to get a hold of our finances, pay off our debt, and get to a point in our lives where we no longer had to worry about money. And that's where we are today. And we feel like we've accomplished our mission, and along the way, we were able to do all of the traveling that we could have ever imagined. So I want you guys to make sure that you subscribe to our channel to find out where this story is going to lead us. Because it took me 3 months just to make this video, and Monica had to film most of it. We traveled all the way back to New York City, and we traveled all over Roseville, Sacramento, and many different regions in California just to film this video. So make sure you follow us and subscribe to this channel to watch the next part of the story.